Okay, so we are now live. We should be live unless the network connection drops. And if all goes well, I will pause the recording on YouTube and I'll send you a link. So this is in the past. Yay. Something went well today. Okay. All right. So let's try out a few basic PHP samples. Okay, so we already have, actually let's start with like the most basic one. So we already have the PHP tags added, and remember, if you're in PHP, you have to be in the PHP tags. And then the first one, we're going to add a comment, test one. And what is a comment in a computer program? Who, I know someone in the classroom can answer. Gordana, what is a comment?
Comment is a piece of writing that is meant for us and not for the computer. For us as in humans,
Exactly.
whoever deals with the code.
That's exactly right. I'm going to get the mic because if I'm recording now, it's important. So give me just 1 second.
Taking more while she's gone. Hours gonna be
Well, that way, if I get it done and it breaks, I have time to figure it out.
So we have added the comment, and there are a couple different ways to add comments in PHP. They're the C style, if you're familiar, but this is one of them. That's a one line. So the line will be commented out, and then we're going to say echo, and then quotes, this is PHP. And then we're going to press F9 or run. And as you can see here, in the window is going to be the output. So this is like your web page. It's not really a web page, but that's what it will be on the web page, right? So that's a very convenient way for us to work with PHP. All right. Okay, so now we can add the HTML. So Doctype HTML. I think you can do HTML here. Pretty sure, right? Do we not? I think you can. Maybe it's limited, but yeah, you can. Right. Okay. So we have our HTML tags. And then we're going to have the body HTML tag. And it's nice to indent your code. It's more easy to read. And then I'm also going to have here inside the body a paragraph. First PHP example. And let's make this hello world, actually. This is the tradition. So let's follow the tradition. And then, sorry, close your. So I have two of them now, okay. And as you can see, we have essentially nested the PHP inside the HTML. Yeah. Maybe it's the magnify, but then the students in the back already can't see it. Now, yeah, I have to use the magnify.
Scroll, magnify what's in the window.
Yeah, and it is magnifying the size of the YouTube app,
Oh.
but it's not.
Is there a delay maybe, do you think?
Oh, there is a delay.
It'll be helpful if you blow that window to full screen and then zoom in, because it'll be.
I would like to do that, but the problem is that this monitor cuts off the top. So it's really a lot of constraints we're working with. That's why I didn't, yeah. And this,
I know, there's.
sorry, I know.
It's this lab.
But we have logins, okay? So, maybe you can look over at Alex's. All right. So here is one thing though. I didn't put a semicolon here, and it let us run without. I did. It let us run without semicolon, but that's not a good practice. Each statement in PHP should end with a semicolon. So add a semicolon there. Is there anyone who is getting any errors? Or are you able to run this? It's okay if you're getting errors, just let us know. Is it working okay? All right. So as you can see, what we have done here is we have used the echo command from PHP to produce output to the screen, and also we have demonstrated how we can mix PHP and HTML in the same file. There are also a couple other types of comments that we can use within PHP. We have to be within the PHP tags. I don't know.
Are you possible for you to take your notes and print on this paper?
Well, I don't really have notes because I was going to give you an assignment. I didn't expect to have the notes.
That's all.
For next time. I'll do this for next time. I have some files I can print maybe in a little bit during the break. Yeah. All right. So we have a more comprehensive example that I have in a file, and I'll print this for Adam. That's a good idea.
Just red, when it's red, does that mean it's an error?
Not necessarily. So the tags, the PHP tags are in
Okay,
red.
they're red, okay.
Yeah. So what I was about to say was then there are two other types of comments you can use in PHP. And you can use a hashtag for another way of doing a single line, another single line comment. And also you can use the /* for multiple line comments. And this will comment out everything until you close it. So Adam, I will get some printouts for the other exercise for you. This one I'm sort of just working on. Yeah. I'll have something for you. And note that we have to be inside PHP to use those kind of comments. If we were inside HTML, we would get an error, right? Because HTML has its own comments which look different. If you might recall, the HTML comment looks like this. This is an HTML comment. So you have to always be aware as to where you are in your file. Are you in HTML? Are you in PHP? Are you in CSS? All right. Okay, so I'm going to do a couple more examples, and then I'll show you a lecture to elaborate on some of the syntactic details and particularities of PHP that you need to follow in order to work with the programs. But let's go ahead and add something called a variable. Who is going to tell us what is a variable? It's a container. That's what the word I used too. So it's a container for data inside your program that can be changed. And so to add a variable in PHP, we're going to use a $. and then num1, for example, you have to have a $sign, and then after that it's an identifier, so it has some rules, but essentially you pick what this word will be, all right? And it should make sense for what you're doing. And so we're going to say, for example, num1 is equal to 7. And now num1 is our variable, and the value inside this variable at this time is 7, right? And what we can do now is, if we echo $num1, then what should we expect to see?
7.
Sure enough, and I guess I need to add a new line here, but we see the number 7 here. Okay. And what if I put quotation marks around the word num1?
See the $sign number.
Yeah, we don't want to do this. We're just going to print the name of the variable, right? And that's generally not what we want to do. So you don't want to use quotations in this case. So PHP is a funny language in terms of case sensitivity. The words in the language, the reserved words, are not case sensitive. However, your identifiers are. What that means is that we can say here echo, we can type it with uppercase, it should still work, although it's num1. So let's see here. And so you can see 777 here. But if I made num1 capital N, I'm going to get an error because that's my identifier and it doesn't know, the PHP interpreter doesn't know what I'm referring to. Again, the reserved words of the language, not case sensitive, whereas the identifiers, the names you give, they are, okay? All right, so this was just a basic warm-up. I have a more comprehensive example I would like us to do, and we're going to hand code it, but I would like to show you what we're going to do. So I have a live link on I have posted, or I guess uploaded these files on my website. And what we have here is a little form where you can say a product description. So it could be, what do you want the product description to be? Just give you something. Apples. List price. Okay. Let's say we get a 10% discount. And then this little form will calculate for us with PHP the discount, give us the discount price, and then render dynamically a new page, which is what we see here. Okay, so this is a little example that we're going to do. Thank you, Aaron. I'll show you in 1 second. So this is the output. So if you want to run this on your machine, if you go in week 1, go to the live links. Yeah, you should try it out actually.
Go into live link.
Go to live links, and then there is a link to my website and this index.html. And please click on that.
Where's the live links at?
Everything I'm talking about should be in week 1.
In week 1. Okay.
Yeah. And then, yeah, go ahead and try this out for yourself, actually. Let's go to Majro-san. Oh, are you able to get to week 1 soon?
You have to pop it into a new window.
Code. So you're going to go. Yeah, go. Code and then live links. No, you don't know this one.
Okay, there, okay. Wow.
And so in the live names.
It's really.
So did you click on this? Yeah, so you can either copy this without.
Don't click on, yeah, that one.
Not the code share, but the one underneath, the settings.
For that one, yeah.
Do you want to log in? Are you logging to the machine?
Sonny, do you want them to copy this one? Is that-
Well, we're going to do this in a little bit. Right now, I'll just get on. You can log into Canvas. If you don't log into this machine, you can't read the conference. Just so you can get. Is that okay?
This machine will have this admin.
I need to, okay, so try this out for yourself. Yeah, so, yeah.
So we can do it in PHP Samples.
No, this has 3 files. This was just for you to run the code from an actual server.
Oh, okay, so you want us to.
So right now you're just trying it out. You're not, we're not coding it. You're just running it to see what it does. And this is actually from the server. And it's, I don't think we might be able to do this in PHP Kilo, but it's better to just do this to brackets. And then how many of you have already set up your domain and hosting? Can you please raise your hand? I'd like to get an idea. Okay. So what we'll do is we're going to do this exercise, and those of you who have it are going to upload, and those of you who don't, you're just going to have paper, okay? For now, and then you should set it up as soon as you can. Any questions on the example? Were you able to write? Right. All right, so then let's go ahead and code this example together. The example contains 3 files. It's going to contain HTML file, a PHP file, and a CSS file. And I don't want you guys to write the CSS right now because it's not relevant to us. So I have posted a code share for the CSS that you can just copy, and then we'll just have it ready for us. Does this make sense? All right. So let's see if you say we have brackets here. Let's go ahead and start brackets. That's great. Oh, I can print this for Adam, I guess, except does this print work?
From your computer?
Certainly not from this one, but
From that one, it should.
sure.
Printing? Yeah.
What? What is this? Why am I getting
You can
this?
just hit no and then can cancel off. Just hit the cancel button.
Okay, thanks. I'm sorry. Actually, you know what, Adam, you can actually access this on your computer because I posted it online. So that's what it is. So let me show you where the code is. Yeah, okay. And we'll start with the CSS already in place, and then we're going to do the we'll be writing the HTML. So you can open it exactly like that. Okay. So when you're working with brackets, the first thing you need to do if you have more than one file is you actually have to set up a project folder, and then brackets is going to be able to resolve the relationships between your files. Otherwise, that will not, it might not recognize. So the first thing we're going to do is to go on the desktop or somewhere, wherever you want to save those files, and say a new folder. And you can name it what you want. I'm going to name it temp1. And then we're going to, after you create a folder, go back to brackets. And then right now, on getting started, if you click on getting started, it's going to say open folder. And then you need to point brackets to the folder that you just created. And this will be now the project folder, right? So I clicked here and you say, it says open folder, and then you select the folder that we're going to work with, right? You know how to do that. And now let's start with the CSS, so we don't have to, as I said, type it from scratch. So if all goes well here, if you please click on this code share link. And that's something else. Are you familiar with this tool, code share? Code share? If you're not, it's very nice because you can just put the code and then I send you link and everyone has the code. Just when you're copying it, don't cut because it's a shared and you need to copy, not cut the content, right? So please copy this CSS. So this is the, all right, so again, we're going to go to week 1, live links, week 1 code, live links, and then there is a code share for main.css. Open this file and then copy the content. Don't cut it again, copy. Copy to your clipboard and then go into brackets and do a file new, paste, file, save as main.css. And now it's color coded because it has an extension. Okay.
Is main a class or a?
No, main is just the name of the CSS file.
Where it says main.
Oh, there is also a class, but it's just a coincidence.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because I didn't get that.
Yeah. It's not really
It's not
important. It's not a key piece of what we're doing. It just happens to be class name and the file name. We could, if you want to name the file styles.css, whatever you want, it should be fine.
I'll make sure I'm getting all.
No, you're fine. Yeah, you're good. That's a good, fair question, but it was not really significant.
Oh, okay.
Are we ready for the next step? All right. Well, our next step is going to be to write the CSS. Sorry, I keep on mixing up my CSS and HTML. We have our CSS, so now we're going to write our index.html, which essentially is going to be a form. That form that first displayed, we need to create this form in HTML. So please go ahead and create a new file and save as index. And you need to make sure to save it in your folder that you created, index.html. All right. And are we ready to continue? All right. So let's write our HTML, and if it gets to 4:30, we'll take a break. Then we'll take 10-minute break and then continue. Okay. Let's see here. Control plus. All right. All right.
You can't see you.
All right. Thank you. Here we go. So this is the top of it. So do you know what the doctype means from your HTML class? Alec, could you remind us? It's going to tell what version of HTML. So if we have this declaration, it's HTML5, right? All right. And then we have HTML, a head.
A question, Scotty?
Sure, yeah,
Can you
anytime.
make the font larger? How do you do?
On yours,
Control.
this is Control plus, yeah. So if you want to make your font larger, you can use Control+. All right. Okay, so this is the product discount calculator. All right. So I tried to type with you instead of show you the code so that it's more live, but sometimes I make typos, so just if I make a typo, let me know. I'll be my QA person. All of you. All right. And now let's link to our let's link to the CSS file. And if you did everything correctly so far, you should be able to see it show up here when you put a quote and just select it. Right? All right, you guys ready? How's it going, Brent?
Aaron's got me on the right road.
All right.
Anything else you're like behind on this side?
Don't pay me back for when I was your.
There you go. Body.
You helpful.
Okay, so let's do a main. H1 product discount calculator. And then we're going to put a form. All right. So our form is going to have an action and a method, attributes. The action is going to, who remembers what the action attribute does in a form? Oh, cool. Aaron. This is the method. Yeah. So the method is going to be the get and post. The action is going to tell the form who is responsible for processing the form. And most commonly, this is going to be a PHP page. So the action attribute indicates who is going to process the form. And we are going to write here a display discount.php. And we still have to create this file. All right. And so when we submit the form, this file is going to process the form for us. And then Aaron was referring to the method, which can be get or post. And the one we want for the form is post because it's more secure and it doesn't show the content in the URL as we get. So these are attributes. So you again, attributes go in the, inside the opening tag of the form tag. Right? All right, and then your form closes. You see that those of you who haven't used bracket, it sort of tries to be helpful, and often it is helpful. And then we're going to have a div with the ID of data. And now to construct our form, this is not, we don't have much more to type here, by the way, but we're going to have labels and their corresponding fields. So the first label is the product description. Column, because that's the label for the first field. And then the fields are going to be of type input. We're taking input from the user. Type text. And then in order for us to submit forms to PHP, we need to have the name attribute because the name and the value go as a key value pair to the PHP file. So we have a name attribute, and then let's name it product description. So that's a meaningful name. And then a break. Okay. All right, so you can copy. We're going to do this 2 more times. So you just copy the 2 lines, the label and the input, and then paste underneath, and we'll just change the text So the second label is going to be list price. And again, the type is going to be text, but we need to change the name, and this is going to be list_price. Okay, and then the last one, so you can copy this one more time. It's going to be discount %, and if you recall, this is what our form looked. So right now you're writing the code for the first form that popped up on the live link when you went to view the code demo, right? And the type is text. The name here is going to be, discount %. And then we're going to add a span element to contain the % for display purposes. And that's all that goes inside the div. And then we need the button. It's almost break time. So just use the preview, and I have to get out of Magnify here. Let's run the preview and see just what our form looks like so far, or if there is a problem. So if you did everything so far without any issues, you should see this form show up.
Preview's a little light.
Right, sorry, but here is the preview. Yeah.
I remember that.
So live preview is the little lightning. And I think that's a good time to take our first 10-minute break, and then we have a couple more lines with HTML, and then we'll jump into
Can you scoot that
PHP.
over to the, so that the whole thing shows?
Yeah.
Yeah, thank you.
Is this good? Maybe I will make it a little smaller. All right, so break time.
I guess it's depending on the person, because again,
So I just have
you're
to
right.
put
And
the number on it.
for UX, the more features, the more headache.
Which the guy I thought, he said.
So
he
it's
was
possible just because
like creating-
I pay for it, but then I don't want to pay.
Okay, yeah, that's fine.
So this means I need to have another 4 classes.
Yeah, you can just sit and watch instead of doing
Like he
it.
said
That's
that
fine.
to like within PHP brackets.
So is this better for you?
Yeah.
It might still be, but we'll see. I think it's the best one from what I see. I think you seem to have a lot of. Where did you learn all your stuff from? What, in Tunisia or in university?
I know by myself.
All by yourself?
Yeah, I do network security. That's what I
Oh,
study.
wow, okay,
Yeah.
that's awesome.
Thanks.
I don't know much about that actually.
If you build an interface in your NetBeans, does it just fill in the HTML text?
It will do some. It would do some help. Yeah, but it's not really, I don't think, worth to this for this.
I've used it before
For Java, this is for Java, but yeah. Yeah, I think you're good.
I just switched.
What don't you like, the space?
It's reverse.
Oh, okay. You must give reverse the order of the label and because you have some typos there, so.
How's the projector? Can you turn that back on?
Oh, yeah. Was mine reversed? You think so? No. I think you have some typos in the tags, and that's why it's going on. Yeah, yeah. So you can look at the code or just.
Oh, you can keep your domain name if you change your votes.
It's just. Took me like 2 hours.
Well, that's better than 2 years or 2 weeks.
No, it's still registered.
whatever. So what happens is like,
Okay, yeah, I think it's you.
Dream plus math, 3, 2, 0, 0. And when that happens, I have to do those 3. Whereas I already paid for you. So then I set it up. And there was a really good point, so I just I didn't even transfer it over. But it was learning. And then also, once you switch over for 4 or 5 days, you'll still be ongoing, but then on the date, so you email each other, and then sort of off on their side. And then your website will be down for like a couple hours. And then it comes back up on Dreambook, but obviously you put the file.
Not for this, not for the
So they don't bother to actually migrate
No, because they don't have permission for each other to do that. Which makes sense. It's like a security thing. But that's why you download everything from your server into one file. So that way when you switch over to Dreambook, you just say, oh, put the file back up. It takes like 30 minutes. And I had a lot of people. And now it's all there. It's like exactly.
I'm on Dreambook anyways. I am curious.
It's also like one day, yeah.
Yeah. Do you know how Canvas works?
He was all the,
Yeah, I think it's all.
like, GoDaddy's cool, it's like, if you have a big issue, like,
Well, you have to buy it.
yeah,
The
the
name,
sooner you
the
move
name.
to somebody else who's you can work with, the less you have to move it. He said he's been on GoDaddy for like 7 years. It's taken him 3 weeks to migrate everything over to new server. And that's when I was like, okay, when I look at like 6 hours on the server, this is the time that I want to move it, not 5 years from now, when you just put GoDaddy.
And you keep a duplicate of all of your files.
I just got an external hard drive and I'm using a time machine. Which do have a 1 terabyte external hard drive that was $36.
36?
My 1 terabyte, I got for like 100, but that was a few. That
But
was
in
like
the
a
end, it's
year
smart
and a half
because
ago.
like, time machine will keep rewriting over it.
Here's the question.
So it never comes out.
What speed does
It's got the, I'm not sure what speed, but it's got the USB 3 cable. It's just, so you're very tired on top of it, took about an hour and a half. But now when I go and I plug it in, it's like, I feel like it's a project really working on, but I'm like, I would just cry. My computer packed out, I would tell you how to pack it up. It's not that, it's worth the $36. You should think.
Luckily, we don't need to do air gap or anything crazy yet. That's gonna be. Air gap. Like when you do network security. I think that if you have data that you can
But I think you might be able to get it from less than you're talking about.
I don't think it's encrypting it. I just think it's storing it on spot where there's no connection. And so you're keeping it that way. Nothing talks to it until you back to it. Yeah.
If you even want to do that.
You may not even do So, well, yeah, there's no point to data if you can never access it. Right, or you can access it. But at least under your yeah. Right? I imagine myself.
Well, you know, I think it happened to me before.
He was not panicking.
Yeah, it was funny when we told Mike, I think someone's like, Mike's like, hey, focus. And we're kind of like, you're just ignoring the sound.
One thing, so I was going to bring him,
Yeah, I was
but,
about to ask her.
when I was, Sarah knew how much I was bringing to the class tomorrow night too, but the thing is, she, like, for her class, I don't know if you want to find out, A, if anybody's allergic, B, if anybody's scared. I've run into, like, scared to death of kittens. I don't like any, but they are. And also, if I bring, do you want me to bring a carrier? Because he usually rides on my shoulder and hangs out.
Well, we know me, so
Yeah.
as far as I'm concerned, it's
So
fine.
if you want to ask, and everybody's cool with it, I'll bring him when I
All
come.
right, let's go. That was good. Now.
I think when you said it.
A couple more minutes and we'll start again.
Even the audit, can I get into the cameras after today?
I think you can.
Your squares are really perfect.
I get into the cameras. I mean, next year course, I'm in the cameras.
It might take a few, or maybe 24 hours. You should be able to.
But it's
as well.
available.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure. All right.
This is just saved. And we'll also, this will be CSS.
Okay. So let's get back to our spots and finish this form so we can start writing some PHP. All right, so after the closing div tag, oh yeah, sorry, thank you. So we have a student here who has a companion cat, and I would like him to bring it to class, but I wanted to check first, is there anyone allergic or concerned around the cat in the class? You're allergic?
I can.
Then I guess you can. Then I guess I have to come down to, we'll talk about it. All right. We'll figure out some plan B.
All right.
Okay. All right. Go ahead and after the closing div, go ahead and open the second div where we're going to have a div with the ID of buttons. And those IDs in the classes for the styling, they come from the CSS file, of course, right? And we're going to have label. So we can use the non-breaking space here just to have a space inside the label, and then we're going to have another input. This time the type will be submit, and this will be our submit button. And the value, and again, I know the situation with the projector is not ideal, so if you need anything, just please let me know. Move it up. Okay, yeah, just let me know because you can see. All right, and then the value is going to equal to calculate discount. All right, and then close and then do a break. And this should be our form. So I'm going to preview one more time. So we're looking at your HTML page should produce a form such as this one, okay? And then we can move on to our PHP. And Again, I would like to point out that the file we are writing is going to be our file we are referencing here in the action attribute that is going to process the page, right? Is this making sense? All right. So, are we good so far?
Just for a second.
It is? Okay. While you're finishing up, I want to say I think HTML and non-topic because it's intricately related to the PHP, and so you need to understand how it works. And also, as you're finishing up, the PHP we're going to don't overwhelm an example that we actually are going to take and learn more. Okay, so this, if you don't know anything in the PHP, going to take to learn to actually forms. With that, let's start from new as.
Where does the end form tag after the last div?
Let's take a look here. So the form should be encompassing the div. That's correct. The two divs are inside the form.
Is the main tag required?
No, it's a HTML5 tag that makes for better structure, but it's not required. All right, and so here's our PHP page save as display discount.php. So you give it a .php extension, and make sure that the type you didn't make sure that you don't have a typo here. The action has to match exactly the name of your file, right? Since we have just 3 files, we're putting everything in that folder that you created. All these 3 files are in the same level. Okay, well then you can. It's up to you. Yeah, you can, but it's not. We're not doing it. Yeah. If you want to do it, it's fine. You just have to have a path leading to the PHP. All right, so let's write some PHP. And when we write PHP, what is the first thing we need to do? We need a PHP tag.
Yeah, straight down.
Sure. Here we go. How is that?
Yeah.
All right. And I'm just going to close my tag so I don't forget to close it later. And now in the PHP, the first thing we're going to do is we're going to need to get the data from the form. And I'm using a comment to document what I'm doing for my own sake, and also if others are reading my code, they can follow what's going on. And that may, especially as the programs get more complicated, that's important. All right, so we're going to spend time later in the class learning more about what it takes. There are some constructs called arrays that we need to use. So right now, just write the code, but don't worry if you don't understand it. I'll talk a little bit about it. So we're going to create a variable, product description. Basically, we have 3 input fields in the form, and we're going to create 3 variables to store the values that we get from the form. That's where we're going here. So product description, and then we're going to use this, it's called a global array post, as a way of getting product description. And The orange product description, can anyone think what it might be referring to? The thing in the HTML, the name attribute in the HTML, right? So if we look here, that's why we gave those attributes, so we could refer to them from PHP. That's exactly right. And then semicolon. List price. So remember, in PHP, variable names, one of the requirements, they have to start with a $sign. Not to be confused with jQuery $sign, which some of you might have used in other classes. Okay, $sign post. And we're using the post array because we specified the attribute as post. If we had specified get, it would be get. All right, so this was the list price. And the last one was the discount percent. And it's $sign underscore post. Discount percent. Do you have any comments so far? No. Thanks for helping. All right. So this is first part of our little program. The next thing we need to do is we need to calculate the discount, because remember, when we produce the result, there is a discount calculation happening. So then we're going to add another comment, and this is going to say calculate the discount. Another variable, discount. So the discount is going to equal equal the list price times the discount percent that we enter, and so then we're going to convert this to percentages. So this will be $sign list price. So if I enter 20, this is going to be 20. If you enter 30, it's going to be 30. And then the asterisk, what does it mean? Multiplication. So multiply the list price times the discount with the $sign. And because we want to make it into percentages, we're going to multiply this by 0.1. So we received the discount list, we received the list price and the discount percent from the form. We store them in variables so that we can use them throughout. And we have a new variable that stores discount amount. And so now what we want to do is we want to get the discount price, which will be the list minus. So we $sign count, which is going to be the list price minus the discount.
Are you going to post that on your webpage?
It is already posted. It's posted. It's really want to do it by hand. It's not the same. And so the next, let's start. Do you have any? Are you following all of what's going on so far? Question? Well, it just, so this is going to go into percent. It's going to be like 20%. You can input a question. So if you wanted 0, that should be fine.
Does PHP know that it's already?
Well, no, the elements is in Java, for example, but we'll talk about this in a bit. All right, so then the next part of what we're doing will be two things. You know, when we clean signs, and then we need to do work here for the percent amount. And it's always sort of surprising, or I don't know, I always notice how much work goes in formatting, right? You don't think it's kind of a minor after, but actually lines of file will be to format. Let's go, and we're going to create variables now to store versions of the variables. So it will be, for example, underscore method is equal to, and we have a $ here in quotation marks, and this means if you wanted to put what is the put it in quotation marks, it's called zero string. So this is going to be $ in output. Then we're going to do some creating string, and in many we can take classes. It's a plus PHP going to use and call number or format function. And I'll talk more about what a function is, but it is something that you see color change. It's something that is built in PHP. Just get to use it, and that's why it's a different color. And this is going to take, this function is going to take the list price, and it's going to take 2 decimals. And it's formatted for us in and discount percent method is going to go to this percent. These are sensitive dot percentage in quotation marks. So it's going to print the percentage. The white space should be. Yeah, you can say that.
Languages, the white matters. In PHP, it doesn't. So, like, if you use a period to concatenate, you can put a space on either side. You can choose not to put a space on either side. It won't make a difference.
In fact, it's better to be consistent here. Yeah, but it's fine.
So you're saying that the period you can use space here?
Well, it's a matter of like you can put a space on either side of the period. Like it's like the white space into the next thing. It doesn't matter. Spaces, just it doesn't matter. It doesn't. It's not sensitive to white space.
Yeah, and you can do this if you want.
No, in
Or
we
even
have price.
Oh, here,
Inside of the,
inside the arguments.
inside of the parentheses, like in C#. There's parentheses.
No, I don't think it's sensitive. The white space, no. Yeah. No, it's definitely directional too, but I'm glad to go so that you're not wondering why we're doing this. Another question.
Yeah, rebella. It's like right?
Character, yeah. The character text.
Yeah.
Exactly. So it's going to print just exactly as it is. It doesn't have any. used to the program, is just for the output. Exactly, good question. So to here, and then we have formatted. Number underscore format. This is the sign discount again 2. And did we say we have those of you maybe know about why are we saying the number 2 here?
After the
Because it's money to have going to be 5.5. That's why we can make it a number. If we say we only have 2.
Can you put the dollar after the section?
Yeah, you can concatenate them in any order.
Yeah,
That should work fine. So what we can do is get this word, and then if you can play with plus it's the price formatted. Going to the PHP. So the product description, we are not formatting. We're just telling the user, but there is a concern that somebody was using malicious intent. They can sneak maybe some scripting. The problem. And what we're going to do now is use to essentially make it so they use tags. And that's called the actually let's escape unformatted input. So the picture is going to do with another HTML function, HTML special chars. So you can see it turned blue because it's part of the language. It's available for us to use. And we'll pass a product description variable. And this is going to strip if the user put any JavaScript tag or any tags might be problematic. Whatever it is, it's going to turn it into plain text, so that it's not possible to do any better. So, right? Well, that's just one of that's one thing. There are many other things. Right? Supposedly. Yeah.
So we should do the same thing for all the variables there.
Once that they're formatted, it's going to take care of it. So we're going to go back and look at the documentation for each of these functions. So for now, let's just do the one that did not get changed with formatting. And actually, that's the end of our PHP. Well, not really. It's the end of this PHP chunk of code, and now we're going to have to basically create the form and then dynamically populate those results, because this is going to come from the server. So it's going to be the same form, more or less. I don't know if it makes sense to... Actually, it's not a form. It's just going to be actually just fields of information. So let's, after the closing PHP tag, we're going to start some HTML. Okay. It's going to look like a form, but it's not really a form because we're just displaying to the user.
Yeah, so this is the page we're going to go to when we click the button.
Correct. Yeah. It's going to populate the result and display. That's correct. Yeah. Okay, so this is going to have a title of product discount calc for calculator. It can use the same formatting as before, so it will use href main.css. And my apologies, this goes in the head. So the title and the link are going to go in the head tag. I wonder if you can run it on PHP if you don't. If you have it, if you want to try them.
Can you do more than one page on PHP if I don't know?
Well, what I'm wondering is if we can put it on. I wonder if this might work. It might not, but it's worth maybe trying if you don't mind. So, yeah. All right. And so in the body, we're going to have an H1. Product discount calculator. Is the recording still going? Are you using it, Adam? Okay. Okay, and then a label. Product description. And then we're going to use a span, which is an inline element. And inside the span, we are going to use PHP to echo the value of the product description. Let me spell this. Escaped. Semicolon, question mark, close the PHP. So take a moment to make sure your code doesn't have typos here. Do you have any questions on line 3.1? Is it clear what it does, or should we talk about it maybe? All right. Well, what it's going to do is when we display the result, it's going to display, it's going to use PHP to dynamically echo. So the same way we printed hello PHP, it's going to dynamically echo on this line the product description escaped, which will be whatever the product description was, apples. So this line is going to print apple on our return page, right? And then we're going to also add the new information we calculated, which was the list price and the percent and the discount price. So a couple more labels. So list price. And I guess maybe let's type it one more time since you haven't done this before, but it's really the same. So you can the PHP tags and the syntax here. So the second one is going to be list price formatted. And also, I forgot, let's put a break after each one of them so that they are on a new line. It doesn't matter. Okay. All right, for the other two, if you're comfortable, we can just copy and paste and just make changes. So let's see, we have the product description, list price, and we need 3 more labels. So you can copy and paste this 3 more times. And we'll make changes to it. Okay, so we're printing the production, the description, the price, then the standard discount is going to be this next label. And then everything else on the next line will remain the same. We're doing exactly the same thing. We're printing in a span tag, except instead of the list price formatted here, we are going to print the discount percent formatted. And we need to also change our label, actually. Didn't I do this? Oh, there's the next one. Okay. So standard discount. Are you following? Or I'm not sure. Okay. All right. So quiet. I know. You're paying attention. That's not what it always means, though. That's what it's asking. Right?
No, I
know. Facebooking you my class? Are you Facebooking you my class? Are you on Facebook? See? I knew it. Discount amount. That's what you get for sitting close to me. I'll pick on you now. All right, the discount amount is going to be $, discount formatted. And the last one is a
discounted amount formatted.
Whatever we set up here.
Mine might be different. Okay, you're right.
Maybe yours, as long as they match, yeah. Right?
I didn't realize it had to be different from what I had.
I didn't realize you typed it different than what I had.
Yeah, that's what we did last quarter.
Discount price. Yeah, I guess so.
codes will always change.
So discount price formatted. All right. Well, so here we are. You can finish up. So I would like to maybe answer any questions, or I can walk one more time to what we did here, and then let's talk what will happen next, right? The next stage. So again, I guess I'll leave it down here to make sure that you're still finishing up. So we took the data from the form. We did a calculation with this data to calculate the discount. We formatted our variables, and then we created an HTML page interlaced with PHP to produce the result to the user. And so those of you who have a DreamHost hosting available, you can now try to upload and see if this works for you. And if it doesn't work for you, it's going to be interesting because, as Aaron mentioned, you can't see errors. So it's kind of like, it's not working, and sometimes there will be errors. But how many? So about half of you have it, right? Have this Dreamhost or localhost. I think you're probably the only one. Anyone have localhost that work too? Okay, so you can try it on localhost, and then troubleshoot if you have any errors. Those of you who don't have it yet, it doesn't seem to work from PHP Fiddle, so I think what I'll do is I would like to do a little bit of lecture, and now I think I'll let you go maybe at 5:30 instead of 5:50, so you can go home and then work on setting up your servers so you can upload and try it, okay? We are, I think, okay, because a lot of us are using Conference 4.
Anybody can.
Last night I gave a list. So we're actually here just for today. We're the PHP students logging in the other lab.
Oh, this is nice to you. What are you doing? You paying around the cookies or something again? Good going, guys. Nice teacher, huh?
So, but for yesterday, I
use Sublime.
Thank you. All right.
I'm getting errors.
Okay, great. So let's see here. And then you start.
Because in my country, I can go
It must be working. It'll be fun to keep coming. Walking, someone next to Adam and walk. Like, come in there, like, yeah. It's ridiculous the side of the computer.
and just
So that's because maybe you put the breaks, that's a kind of minor formatting issue. Did you put breaks in your PHP?
Yeah.
Other
software.
There is other software, but.
Thank you. Which one?
If you use Dreamhost,
40?
they
Thank you.
Oh, no.
So you need to use files.
Yeah, you have to.
Okay, is this the only one?
Dreamhost.
So let me.
There's a server, they don't do that. They're not the company that puts it between.
So it's gonna ask you where you want to connect from and to.
Yeah, so FileZilla, it'll say, well, what's your Dreamhost username, what's your Dreamhost password, and what's the URL? And then you put that in and click it, it'll go in and log into your server, and it'll bring you the information on one side. So this side is your server, this side is.
So I used it before, but it's been a while.
Yeah. Yeah. Let me know if you need help dragging it. Oh wait, you're not logged in, are you? Next time, I'll totally help you get it when you have your information.
Which text editor do you use? Brackets?
I use brackets for school just because everyone uses
So
it.
one thing you can do is you can grab your code, do the PHP,
I also like
use the PHP,
Dreamweaver.
and put it in PHP Fiddle, and just see if
I
you
think
get
once
any
I set it
errors.
up.
Don't run, but just, yeah. And also test it working, so,
Which is what happened with all your graphics.
so run this. Now we're-
Highly customized.
So dollar
I've
sign.
heard that it's like, it can be just like if there's not one.
Where in the card description? Can you show me the syntax.
Whoa.
So it's a syntax error. So did you forget? Mine is somewhere else. Did you maybe forget something? You should have.
It's saying that this is.
Yeah, but that doesn't mean that the error is actually there.
You don't have a server?
It's in the PHP.
Well, I have a server, I just.
It should be.
Oh, here's looking. Comment out the first one and just look at it again. Just comment. And I'll. What is your question?
The next one.
I want because we. Did you guys set up on your server? Do you have an index.php there? Or?
And the form comes up. And I don't
Right.
put the information that goes to this.
Okay, so we'll take a look at that. Are you using Dream? Are you using localhost or what is your?
Localhost, yeah.
Okay. You're also okay. I'm actually googling your error. I'm not sure where you're getting. What is it called? Undefined index?
Yeah.
Or
Yeah, that's kind of fun.
do you have MAMP or WAMP or
WAMP.
WAMP?
Yeah.
Okay. WAMP. So you should there coming up. You should check the very before you use it. You have you used overflow before? Are you familiar?
No.
Okay. So one of the things you will need to start doing when you program up there in the browser.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Stack Overflow has an answer, but just look it up for yourself.
Okay.
And you also want to
Yeah.
where it is. And it's really important to be able to find solutions on Stack Overflow in other places because you have errors. Yeah. So here is the quick, and then they're going to tell you what you need to do.
Yeah, I used to use it a lot.
This should be like you only need to fill this kind of so let's see. Yeah, you have two equal signs on the line, so that's why. You right on this line, right?
Yeah.
So you can correct that. Yeah, it's weird. It's not. I don't think it's actually. Oh, do you care? Let's see. Go ahead and maybe after if you do an echo, copy this to kiddo. Yeah. Again, I don't think there is here. I think it's probably in maybe something. And then add an echo. Let's add an echo and see if it's yeah. Echo 5. Yeah, because because it's a. Because I think it's something, it's not something. I shall be careful. So if you, when you let everyone go, stay and move. Yeah, I guess I wanted to do some. I wanted to present a lecture on the syntax. With next time. I think we're going to wrap up for today, and I would like you to. Objective will be to get your program on your server and then display and verify that you can calculate.
That's our assignment for next week.
It's not, the assignment was something else.
Oh, the assignment was setting up our.
Setup, yeah, but if you can finish, since I'm going to let you get early, since you are not all set up, try to spend this time to set up your dream host and see if you can get this running. And if you're doing it from here, like here, you stay and we can look at it right now. And that's all for today. If you don't have any questions, and next time we meet, if we hopefully, we have a solution here, but we'll start with the lecture that will outline for you all the syntax rules of PHP. You need to know the basics, like no white space or white space is ignored and so on. Any questions or comments?
Are you going to use this room?
If we have login, let's meet in the regular room, and then if there is a problem, I think we can still come here. But plan to meet at 3156. And let me talk to you. Let me turn off my recording and talk to you about that. Yeah.
So that is, it's all for today now.
We are done for today, yes. Thank you.
How do I get, I'm gonna get the recording, how do I get?